Here's a special moment in my career. The first time I played Essence Festival, the year that Prince was playing. Well, I mean, I was in, I did Essence Festival 2 years ago, and it was the year that Prince was performing. And I'm a huge Prince fan, always have been. And, you know, I always kind of say he's my biggest influence. So I was kind of hoping that I was going to get to meet Prince at sometime in this weekend at Essence. And, but again, you just never know with Prince because he's, you know, he's just unreachable, you know, or he seems unreachable. I did my show and then we watched him perform, and then I'm friends with Estelle, and she invites me to this House of Blues party afterwards, this like jam thing, and one of Prince's artists was performing, and I'm thinking, okay, cool, you know, that'll be a nice hang, and you know, who knows, maybe he'll be there. And so we go in and they give us this wristband and we're in the main House of Blues, and there's just like, there was hardly anyone here. There was hardly anyone there, and we were kind of stood on the balcony. I was like, what's going on? They're like, this isn't it. This isn't where we're supposed to be. And then, so we were getting ready to leave because we thought it was kind of like it was a non-starter kind of thing. And then we saw this guy kind of pulling us over to the side with people with wristbands. So we go over, me and my friend, into this whole other like backstage bar party thing. And that was obviously kind of where everything was happening. And then, I saw Estelle there, so she brings us over. I'm sat with Estelle and Janelle Monáe and Leanne La Havas and a couple other people, and we're just in like a booth. And I'm thinking, that's great, you know, these are my peoples, and we're just like, you know, chilling, dancing and whatever. And then this little guy kind of walks in from around the corner and just comes and sits in the booth. And I'm like, just, you know, whatever, and I look over and I'm just like, Prince is just sat there, just like, you know, next to Janelle Monáe. Yeah, that was a moment where I was just, one of those, I don't get really starstruck that much, you know, because people are people, you know, whether you're a celebrity, musician, whatever. But Prince, I was just like, what do I say? Like, what am I going to say if I get the opportunity to say something? But unfortunately, I'm too much of a pussy, and I didn't actually have the balls to even shake his hand, because I was either going to say nothing, I was going to be like, hey, how's it going? Or I was going to be like, okay, I need to tell you this, I need to tell you that, thank you for this song, thank you for this album, this got me, and I didn't want to do that. So, yeah, I mean, that was kind of like my brief encounter with Prince, and, you know, being stood like this far away from him and not quite really being able to say anything. And then, of course, I missed my chance, so. Here's a wild tour story with my friend Marsha Ambrosius in LA on my first headline tour of the US. So we wrote Alone Together a few years ago, and then I'd say we probably didn't, it was one of those ones where it was one of the first songs I did quite early on in my career, and it didn't get released for maybe a year and a half, maybe even 2 years after it had been recorded, because we were doing the rest of the album. So me and Marsha wrote it, and then, you know, she obviously hadn't listened to it for a while. And I was touring the US, and we came to one of like quite a big show, maybe like LA or New York, or might have been Chicago. And Alone Together is the finals, it's the last song, you know, it's the last song of the set. And she was in LA, so I was like, you know, do you want to come through and we'll do Alone Together as the last song? So she was like, yeah, that's great. So I'm thinking, oh, that's great. It's going to be like, it might have been the first time we performed it live as well. So I'm doing my set, and the show's going amazing, sold out show at the El Rey Theatre, I think. So I guess the last song, I'm like, okay, everybody, I sing my first verse, and then I'm like, okay, and it's a total surprise. Everybody give up for Marsha Ambrosius, and everyone's like, yeah. And you know, the audience were totally surprised, and it's the first time we'd done it. So she comes out, she basically couldn't remember the words. So it comes to her verse, and she's like, so my heart's been racing, chasing after you. You're this different, but do. So I'm like, oh shit, she doesn't know the words. So I'm trying to make eye contact, be like, and then try to like mouth the words, and we're trying to figure it out, and like we're laughing on stage, and but apparently the audience didn't notice. So I was, you know, afterwards no one mentioned it, and I was just like, we were just laughing about it afterwards. So I guess that was kind of like a memorable, funny moment that we definitely laugh at now.